All right, all right, all right. Hey guys, I am live. I am live. I am live. I am live. What is up? How's everyone doing tonight? I am so excited, guys. I'm so excited for tonight's live training. And so let me know, guys. First of all, drop where you are hoping to open a beauty supply store today. Where are you guys logging in from? I'm logging in from Queens, New York. So let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat where you guys are logging in from. I am logging in from Queens, New York. So drop your city in the chat. And so while people are kind of coming in the room, I would also love to know if this is your first training with me. Drop a one in the chat if this is your first training with me. Drop a two in the chat if you are already a part of the tribe here over in Beauty Supply Land. So I see. Okay, Winston Salem is in the building. Welcome, welcome, North Carolina. Anybody else? Anybody else? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat. So like I said, guys, I am logging in from Queens, New York. This is actually where I launched my beauty supply store, and I'll be sharing more about that in the training today. But I am going to get started, guys. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to kick off this training because I really want to share with you guys how you can start your own beauty supply store and make lots of money in this industry and really reclaim this industry. So I'm going to be sharing that is today's training. That is the purpose of today. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen. Drop a one in the chat if you guys can see the slides, see the training. Drop a one in the chat. Okay, so we are going to kick it off, guys. We're going to kick it off. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. So before we get started in this training, I have to share a legal notice and disclaimer. And this is for really people who like to steal my trainings and steal my stuff. This training, including all of its strategies, frameworks, predictions, methods, and materials, is the exclusive intellectual property of Janice Fredericks and the Retail Genius. It is provided for personal educational uses only. Any reproduction, distribution, recording, or sharing of commercial use of this content, including using it to create your own programs, trainings, or offers, is strictly prohibited and will be enforced under U.S. copyright and intellectual property law, guys. So please, no one copy this training and resell it as your own because it will be a problem. All right, so let's get started, guys. The Black-owned beauty supply takeover is here. It is 2026, and the Black-owned beauty supply takeover is here. So I have been leading a movement of Black entrepreneurs all over taken over all over the United States of America, Canada, and the islands. And so I love to share some of the receipts and clients that we have worked with for the past decade. This is Quality Beauty Supply in Grayson, Georgia. This is New York Beauty Supply with its pink background out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the first Black-owned beauty supply store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is Jazzy Chick in Henderson, Nevada, Be Brave in LA. Then we have My Shade and Texture out in Tampa, Florida. We have House of Melanin in Oak Park, Illinois. Bold Culture Beauty. She is located in Orlando, Florida, and Mega Beauty Supply in Cypress, Texas. So, guys, what I'm going to be teaching and training you guys tonight is something that I have taught people literally everywhere. So when you're looking at this training, don't think I don't know because my area is slow or my area is white or like literally this blueprint works anywhere, no matter where you are. So on tonight's agenda, I'm going to be sharing with you the real state, the state of the beauty supply industry, what is changing and what smart owners are doing differently. I'm going to share with you some 2026 funding and capital trends that we have been seeing and what has been working right now. And then I'm going to share with you how you can position your store to win. Lastly, there is going to be a special opportunity that it's not for everybody, but there's going to be a special opportunity at the very end for you to actually get started in opening your beauty supply store with me and my team. And then I'm going to take some questions. So guys, if you have questions about this industry, We are going to have a live Q&A at the end. Obviously, if there's time, we'll have a live Q&A so that you can ask your questions. But then also feel free to drop your questions in the chat, because I'll be able to review the chat at the end and also answer your questions. Okay. So there's a few reasons why you want to get started with Beauty Supply today and why you decided to join this training. So number one, main reason is most likely you are tired of your 9-to-5 job and you want to do work that is going to impact lives. Like you are over the 9-to-5, you're very tired, you're struggling, you're working very hard for someone else and someone else's business, and you want to start your own. The second thing you probably realize is you see that your community, currently where you live, is waiting for a Black-owned beauty supply store to get open. With all the shutdowns and all the boycotts, you understand that the landscape right now is one that is for a beauty supply store to be open. And number three, you know that you need to create financial freedom. Some of you may be living paycheck to paycheck, right? And you want to create generational wealth, like something that you can pass down to your children. And you understand that Beauty Supply can do that because it's been doing it for the Asians for 3 different generations, right? They've been passing stores down to their children. So this is a little bit of an overview of who I am for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, and this is your first training. First of all, welcome. Once again, my name is Janice. I am the Retail Genius Online, and I am a consultant and coach who has helped Black women and Black men open beauty supply stores all over, again, the US, Canada, and the islands. And collectively, our clients have generated well over $15 million in revenue. Last year, we helped Black women secure $1.5 million in funding so that they can be able to open their beauty supply stores. But I didn't always start here. I've been in this industry for almost 2 decades, but I actually started out in the corporate world. I went to business school. I got a good business job at Goldman Sachs, which is the #1 investment firm, arguably in the country, and decided that I didn't want to work the corporate job anymore. I was very, very tired. I had a lot of anxiety and stress, and decided to transition into opening my store. And now I am the #1 strategist helping Black women and men create the beauty supply industry and reclaim the beauty supply industry. So these are some receipts, y'all, of different publications that I have been written in, so that y'all know that this is no scam over here, because there are a lot of scam artists out there. But y'all, I have been in this industry for 20 years. There are so many different ways to find out who I am. But one of the most important things is the programs that we actually teach Black men and Black women. This is leading to economic freedom, y'all. I'm like the modern day Harriet Tubman, literally giving people the roadmap and the blueprint to open a store and open a business in an industry where we are marginalized. And so my beauty supply programs, literally Business Insider wrote about the program. The Retail Genius Bootcamp is helping fill the pockets of Black women. Yahoo Finance wrote that the program has helped Black women generate $3 million. This is back in 2020. And then Kivo Daily wrote, Janice Fredericks is reclaiming the beauty supply industry for Black women everywhere. And that is our mission, to literally change the face of beauty supply as we know it. Because if you have gone into a beauty supply store in any Black neighborhood, you know that it's mostly Asian owned and Arab owned. And so we have this strong movement to open 100 Black owned beauty supply stores this year. So like I said, y'all, there is a special opportunity at the end if this is something that has been on your heart, because it's not for everybody. So I'm just going to put that out there now. It's not for everybody. And most people that come on here are kind of like spectators. But if this is something that you have been thinking about and you have been serious about, then you want to stay to the end so that you can make your next move in getting this store open. Okay, so this is actually a picture, y'all, of my grand opening back in 2010. 2010. This was the grand opening of our first store called Fabulous Freddy's. Like I said, we opened it right here in the heart of New York City, which is arguably, I would say, one of the most expensive and toughest cities to do business in. And this is why I believe that my blueprint works so well everywhere else, because it's a blueprint that is tried and true and has been through the toughest city during the toughest economy. So I opened in 2010, which was around the mortgage crisis. Things were terrible at that time, and I still decided to open my store. And when I tell you that this day is the day that my entire life changed, this was my way into entrepreneurship. Now, of course, since then, I've opened other businesses and opened other things. But the way I got my foot in the door to entrepreneurship was through opening my beauty supply store, and it was the best decision ever. And I remember this day like it was yesterday. My entire family was there. My father was there. My aunts flew out from different states to come see me open this store. My grandmother was there, who was a immigrant from Cuba, came to America to give her children and her children's children a better life. She was able to see me open this store and achieve the American dream. And y'all, it was just a wonderful, wonderful day. And when I tell you, when you open your beauty supply store and you are at that ribbon cutting, it is almost like having a baby. And literally, you're in the delivery room pushing this baby out. And there's so many people that come to support you from the community. Even if you don't have a lot of family, enough friends, the community is waiting for a Black-owned beauty supply store to open. And when they hear that there's a Black-owned store opening, they come out and they pour into these stores, which I'm going to share a lot about that when I talk about my other clients. And so one thing that I want to ask you is, who would you want at your grand opening, right? Your grand opening day, who would you want there? Because it's already February, and I want you to actually drop their name in the chat. Who are you doing this store for? Who would you want to witness this greatness, right? You standing at that ribbon. Who would you want besides you cutting that ribbon? Almost like, who would you want in the delivery room, right? I want you to think about why you want to do this, because your why has to be very important, right? For me, I knew that I wanted to see a Black-owned store because I felt like my ancestors fought for us to be able to be here. Why is it that I only see Asian faces? I only see Arabs faces in these spaces. I wanted to see more Black-owned stores open, and I wanted to change things because I know that my ancestors fought for us to get here. And so, guys, it is already March, y'all. And so imagine this, by the end of this year, you could be celebrating the ribbon cutting of your grand opening. So let me know in the chat, can you actually see yourself stepping into ownership? Give me a yes in the chat. Can you see this for yourself? Can you close your eyes and envision you are at your own ribbon cutting? And what would it mean to you to have the first Black-owned beauty supply store in your community and be a pioneer in this industry? Okay, because the opportunity is here. The only question is, are you ready to claim it? Because I'm going to be honest, there is a lot of myths and mindset issues that actually hold African Americans back from getting started. Besides the money, there are a lot of things that we actually tell ourselves, and maybe you are guilty of this, right? Saying things like, I don't have enough money. Oh, the beauty supply industry is so saturated. There's beauty supply stores everywhere. Or I don't know how to get accounts open. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do this, right? I don't know if I'm going to have time to do this. Or I don't know where I'm going to get funding from. And here's what I want to encourage you to do, guys. I want to encourage you to stop using disempowering language, because this journey requires for you to be empowered, not disempowered, right? This journey requires you to have empowering language and an empowering mindset to transition from being on the consumer side, which means we're spending money, over to ownership. Because we don't say these things when Beyonce drops a new concert and we purchase Beyonce tickets, or when the new iPhone drops and we get the new iPhone, or there's the girls' trip, there's the vacation, there's the kid's birthday. Like, we never ask ourselves how we're going to make it happen. We just make it happen. And this is the mindset that you want to bring into ownership when you are actually about to own your own business, okay? You want to have an empowered investor mindset, okay? And so I know you still may be asking some valid questions, like, I just want to know how the Asians killing in beauty supply and we are not. And where do I get started? What is the roadmap? Are there really gatekeepers? Can I really get accounts? And how do I get funding? Guys, this is exactly what I'm going to break down this training, step by step, how you can get started in beauty supply and get the funding that you need for your store. Okay. So let's start off with the wake-up call and why you are truly here, right? There was a recent job report where 300 Black women, it was shown that 300 Black women have lost their jobs. And so the first thing that we have to understand is that our jobs are not safe, me included. I had lost my U.S. Treasury position right before I opened my beauty supply store. God had to literally push me out because I was fired. And so for a lot of us, you may be in that position as well. You may be on here because you actually don't even have a job and you're trying to figure out what your next move is going to be. And I just want to encourage you that when God pushes us out of something, right, it's not meant for you to go back. I thought for a second when I lost my treasury job that I had the degrees, right? A lot of Black women, we have so many degrees. We are literally the most educated demographic. We are literally number one. And so I had the education, I had the degrees, I could have gotten another job. That was not going to be a thing. But I knew that God was calling me for something different. He was calling me to be a risk taker. He was calling me to be a pioneer. He was calling me to be the one. Do y'all know what the one is? When we say the one is the one person in your family that changes the entire game, that changes the entire trajectory of your family, and that breaks generational curses. And I knew he was calling on me to be that one. And for many of you on this line right now, you are most likely the one too, because you're deciding to show up to a training and your Monday evening when you can be doing something else, right? You're deciding to show up to this training and educate yourself on a new opportunity. And so the other thing that I want to mention, outside of most of us being the one, as Black women, and for my Black sisters on here, 80% of Black mothers are the primary sole breadwinners in the household. And so I am also a single mom of 5 small children, from 8 all the way down to 2. And that's my kids right there in the picture. They are my entire world. But I understand that I have a greater responsibility as a single mom to make things happen and to not be afraid to take risk and bets on myself, because I understand that not only am I the one in my family to make things shake, but I'm a mom now and I'm doing it on my own, right? Newly divorced, doing it on my own. And so I have 5 small children to look after. And I'm thinking about generationally, what can I leave them and what can I also leave their children, right? And so this is the long-term thinking and the long-term mindset that a lot of us need to have and shift to. Okay, so I want to share with you our first client case study. This is Pampered Texture out in North Dakota. So this is Fargo, North Dakota. And this is Vanessa, West African mom, also a single mom, right? I have a big heart for single moms. Also a single mom of 4 children. And she called me. She was a hairstylist before she joined our program. And she was like, hey, I want to come from behind the chair. I've been a hairstylist for a while. I want to open a beauty supply store so I can have that passive income as well as still do hair and have other people do hair. So we opened her beauty supply store. And here in this text message that she sent me, she said she was averaging $400 to $500 a day. She had just opened her store and then she was on her way to doubling in her second year of business, y'all. And so if Vanessa can do it, West African mom, single mom of 4, who was a hairstylist and took a bet on herself and said, hey, I want to remove myself from the chair and I want to actually become an owner, right? And so taking myself out of that position so I can be an owner and literally have a business where other people can do hair and I can have a beauty supply store, sign me up for that. So y'all, it is possible. Okay, it is possible. So now let's get into the numbers and let's shift back to 2025, because 2025 was a rough year, y'all. It was a rough year. But here's what 2025 showed us in the numbers, because it's important to understand what the numbers are. Here's what 2025 showed us. Foot traffic and beauty self-care chains grew to 1% to 2%, right? Beauty demand stayed strong even with economic uncertainty. And Ulta, which is a beauty supply giant, raised its annual sales forecast. So what we can take from that is that the industry did not slow down even with a terrible economy, even with Trump tariffs. right? What we actually saw was that the weak stores declined and the strong, smaller community center stores actually grew. And so you have an amazing opportunity to enter the market while it's actually rebalancing, right? While we're actually coming out of 2025 and coming out of that economic slump, now we are seeing more opportunity, right? And this is the great time to strike while the iron is hot, y'all. So 2026 is the year to own the engine we built, right? We see that Black beauty and textured hair categories are growing from 4 to 6% annually. Okay. Black consumers continue to drive billions in annual beauty spend. Okay. So once again, demand is not the issue. The demand is there. We see people continue to spend money. However, ownership, the hands that it goes into, is the issue. So this is the year, 2026 is the year that Black women stop watching and we start owning. Because the bottom line is that Black women fuel the beauty economy. And so opening a store is not just about business and making money. This is about reclaiming an industry that we built, because this is all about economic justice. Because when we talk about reclaiming, we're talking about Black women in the 1920s who built this industry. We're talking about Annie Malone and we're talking about Madam C.J. Walker, two prominent Black females, literally the first self-made millionaires in the 1920s. So we're talking about a century ago. Okay, we're not new to this. We're true to this. These are our ancestors, and this is in our blood. So this right here should get you fired up that, hey, I could do it, because they was already doing this a century ago. This is not something new. Black women make money in beauty. And Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone created hair care products, had manufacturing, had schools, did distribution, right? They already gave us the blueprint of how to make the millions. It's in beauty. It hasn't been in anything else. And so right now, we need to realize that if our ancestors could have made millions, which would arguably translate into billions in today's money, that there's no reason why we can't do this, because they did it at a time where they couldn't even open bank accounts. Y'all hear me? They made it happen, and they legally couldn't even open bank accounts in their own name. So what is our excuse when we have all of this access? And y'all, when I talk about starting in a bad time, literally in 2008, I lost my job, right? I started during the mortgage crisis. This was a time, if y'all remember the mortgage crisis, this was a time where we couldn't even find gas. Like, gas stations was shut down. It was nothing like what it is today. It was 10 times worse in 2008 when I opened. But I decided to open anyway. Because here's what I understood about business coming out from business school, is that all the millionaires are made during economic crises. Because everybody else is so scared to open a store that the few ones that are brave enough to open, they take all of the market share, right? We took all the market share. And this is exactly what happened to me when I opened my store. I saw that woman was actually coming in and spending their unemployment checks at my beauty supply store. So sales did not stop because people were unemployed. It's just the money was spent differently. So whereas you might have been going to the hair salon, going to the nail salon, getting things done professionally, you said, wait a minute now, let me go on YouTube and learn how to do this myself. However, I still must go to the what? To the what? I still have to go to the beauty supply store so I can get my items, so I can learn how to do this myself. So that was the DIY era in 2008, because people was using their unemployment checks to figure out, how can I do my hair myself? How can I do my nails myself? How can I do my makeup myself? Like me, I'm on YouTube all day, every day, learning how to do stuff myself. But here's what's not going to stop, and it's never going to stop. The need to be able to go into a brick and mortar business and get your beauty supply products. Okay. This is what led me to open my store in 2010. And in 2026, become the #1 consultant helping other Black women open stores the same way I did. And so when we talk about the numbers, and it's so important to really drive this home, $100 billion is in the beauty supply industry. That's billion with a B. Imagine African Americans just had 10% of that. Imagine we just own 10% of that. Okay. So now let's talk about what is coming and what is working now. Okay, let's talk about what is working now. And this is where you definitely want to get your notepad out and take some notes, because most of the gems that I'm going to drop is literally going to be off the dome. So first thing is that the era of pretty packaging is over, right? Now clients are looking and customers are looking for products that are really going to work on their hair. They're looking for stores that have results-driven shelves, right? Not stores that's just buying what they see everybody else buying. They want stores where you have done the research and you know what really works. They're looking for that trust factor. This is exactly what I did in my store. I had researched all the products in my store. And so I was very meticulous about making sure that I would carry products that the girls was looking for that you couldn't find just anywhere. Okay. So secret gem number one, y'all, and type this in the chat. So I want to make sure everyone's paying attention, guys. You want a results-driven product mix. Type product mix in the chat. Now your product mix, guys, is going to be all the different categories in your beauty supply store that is going to make revenue in your business, that is going to make you money in your business. So that's categories ranging from bundles, pack hair, braiding hair, chemicals. Chemicals is perms and color, right? Relaxers, right? Natural hair care products. This is our like Carol's daughter, Jane Carter, all of those natural hair care products, right? You want to create a results-driven product mix. This is how I was able to have 5-figure months in my store, which was really, really small. My store was all of 800 square feet of space, but I was making $15,000, $20,000 a month off of a small store. And again, I'm in New York, right? So our stores tend to be smaller. Down south, the stores are bigger. They're like Walmart stores. They're huge. But I was still able to make multiple 6 figures in my beauty supply because I focused on high-end products. That was my product mix. My product mix was going to be the products for the natural girlies. They're going to be the products for people that want to do protective styles. And that is what I focused on. And when you are opening a store and you have a lean budget, you cannot be everything to everyone. We don't have what the Asians have, where they could spend $500,000 to $1 million on products. And so when we understand that our budget is different, we have to move different. We have to have a different product mix. And that's an inventory strategy that I'm sharing with you guys. That's a major gem because it's the backbone to everything that we do. And it's the largest asset on our balance sheet is inventory. So you have to make sure that you get the inventory correct the first time, because there are no refunds when you open these accounts with these vendors. There are no refunds. They're not going to take the product back if it doesn't sell. And so this is one of the reasons why a lot of stores fail, not because they didn't have the money to open, but they spent the money on the wrong products. And so it's important that you sit down with someone who's been in the game, who knows what's selling, and who knows what's going to sell in your community, right? That's gem number one. Now, gem number two is making sure that you understand that having a private label product in your store is going to be the new standard. Because historically, as retailers, we are buying wholesale products and we're just selling them. But what new store owners are doing differently right now is we are literally creating our own brand within our beauty supply store and selling it on our shelves. Now, what this does is this allows you to increase your margins because now you have a brand within your store that's literally a brand that you own. And so you're able to charge a premium because it's your brand. Now, with other brands, you can't charge whatever you want because there's what's called an MSRP. There's a standard price that they want to keep you in. And you also have to stay competitive. But when it is your own brand with your own name and it's your own quality, right? You can charge double and triple margins on your pricing. Okay. So the bottom line here is that private label equals higher profits, deeper loyalty, and more ownership. So now we get into having several revenue streams in our business, which is going to be the next gym. But for here, I want you to write down launching your signature product. Okay, because this is how you build wealth beyond your four walls in your store. With this product, you can put it on anywhere. You can put it on Amazon.com. You can put it on Walmart.com. You can sell this product in pop-up shops and expos, right? But this is how you begin to scale your business and make multiple six figures in your business, because you have your own product line. And therefore, you can charge what you want. This is exactly what we did with My Shade and Texture out in Tampa, Florida. So Pam, who's the owner, we opened her store about 3-4 years ago at this point, and she has what's called a DIY scrub bar. So in the back of her store, and this, you can probably see it in this picture where she's at, it's a full table of natural oils and scrubs, right? Where customers can come in and start to mix and match and make their own concoction. So not only is she creating her own brand and her product line in her store, but she's also creating an experience that her customers have never seen before in the average beauty supply store. We've never been able to walk into a beauty supply store and make my own oil, make my own scrub, make my own lotion. I want you guys to see that the stores that we are creating are not your average beauty supply store. These are out the box creative stores, and you can literally create whatever you want. I have people do smoothies, juices. I have people sell their own apparel, like fashion wear in their store, right? T-shirts, their own branded, accessory line. I've had the two sisters that I showed you guys earlier out in LA. Those two sisters had a high-end bonnet line that was a line bonnet that they created, that was their own brand that they sold in their beauty supply store. So I want you guys to start to think of, what product or brand would I like to sell in my store? Like, what could I potentially sell? Because again, guys, I want everyone to think outside of the box, because sky is the limit. In my store, we did bundles, of course. That is like the simplest thing to do. So we sold bundles. We did makeup. We did makeup brushes. We did a whole bunch of stuff. Like, we tested everything, right? And so that's what you'll do with your beauty supply store when you get open. It is all about testing out things, seeing what you like, seeing what the customers like, more importantly, seeing what they're buying and what's working, right? And then you go back to the drawing board. If that product didn't work out, then we can go back to the drawing board and we can come up with something else. But you want to sit down and you want to create, how can I get this additional revenue stream from my private label brand into my beauty supply store? What is the community missing that I can fill a void in? Okay. Now, next thing is that in 2026, if you don't have a hybrid store, you are going to be getting left behind and you are leaving a lot of money on the table, right? So it's 2026. Technology is everywhere. AI is everywhere. So now customers are looking for that buying online, pick up in the store. They're looking for different delivery options. They're wanting the emails. They're wanting the SMS updates and text messages. They're wanting to be able to shop 24/7, guys. And so when I tell you this gym right here, you need to build a dual channel retail machine. Drop that in the chat. You need to build a dual channel retail machine where you are literally making money in your sleep and waking up to sales. I woke up to $1,000 and I ain't even opened my beauty supply store yet, because that online store is selling. It's banging. My TikTok shop is selling. It's banging. And so you need to start to think outside, again, different revenue streams. This is exactly what we teach our clients. And this is another case study. This is Christina out in Los Angeles. We got a lot of stores in Los Angeles, y'all. But her store is called Curly Girl Love out in LA. Now, Christina, she came to me. She was a school teacher that turned into a stay-at-home mom. had 2 Irish children just like me. And she said, listen, I do not want to go back to the classroom, right? I don't want to go back to the classroom. I want to become my own boss. But I still want to be able to have time to raise my kids and be there for the recitals and be there for the practices and all the things that I cannot do with a traditional 9-to-5 job. And so Christina joined the program. We was able to help her get funding for her store. And within the year, she had her store open. And in her first 6 months of business, she sent me this screenshot text message here, as you can see. I text her and I'm like, hey, how's the sales going since we're at the half-year mark? And you can see the date up top. This is August 6, 2023. And she responds with $96,978. Like, she was only 6 months in. But she mentions down below that she had made $12,000 on DoorDash and that her online sales are through the roof. Okay. These are the additional revenue streams that she has on her beauty supply business that is making her 5 figures a month without her doing much work. Right. And so I want you guys to start to think about your beauty supply store to be the parent company, to be the hub, right? This is your main machine. And then underneath your store has all these different revenue streams underneath it, right? One could be that DoorDash. Another one is the online, right? We go back to Benisa, my client out in North Dakota. She had a salon in her store, right? That's that service-based revenue stream. And here's what I'm going to also tell you guys. That one-stop shop model where you have the retail and the service, and it doesn't have to be a hair salon, but that's just what works beautifully. I also had a hair salon, and I would tell you with my hair salon, we only had 2 stations, y'all. And I kid you not, with those 2 stations where I was doing commission with my 2 hairstylists, we was generating $15,000 a month because I chose the commission route. And so, but you don't have to do commission, y'all. You can do rental. You can do salon suites. Salon suites is another fabulous way to have some passive income where you don't have to be involved. But just understand that there's going to be a cap. Okay. So I chose to do commission. And with that commission, like I said, it's a 60-40 split. You get 60, I get 40. And so, guys, if you think it's simple numbers, if you're making at least minimum $10,000 with your hairstylist, they're taking that $6,000, you're taking $4,000. That's way more that you would make if you was just renting out spaces. So I always encourage people to think about what service-based business can I have within my beauty supply business as well, outside of me having my own product line. I want to have a service-based business as well. And when I tell you salons work great, braid bars work great, especially if you're doing it on commission, you'll easily make another $15,000 to $20,000 per month having 2 to 4 stylists. And so it does not have to be a large operation to make that additional revenue in your store. Okay. So now let's move into the last gem, y'all. Let's move into our last gem. And that is all about the funding, right? How do we get the money for our store? Okay. So let me just tell y'all this. Getting money and funding for your beauty supply store is not the biggest problem for us. It is our positioning. It is our positioning. When you are going out to lenders, and we've used the SBA 7A program for most of our clients, right? They are looking for you to have everything in place, meaning projections and your business plan, y'all. Because lenders are going to say no to you if you do not have your projections laid out, if you don't have a cost breakdown, if you don't understand the market of beauty supply, and you don't have that retail math laid out to where they're going to be able to see how they're going to get their money back. Okay. So here, guys, I want to share with you a very simple formula for you to build your business plan, because you're going to need a business plan and get funding. And I call this the 5 P's formula. Okay. It's just 5 key things that you need to have in your business plan. The first P is going to be the place. This is where you plan to open the store. And you need to show the lender that this is the best location. You need to show them the traffic. You need to show them the demand and the demographics. Okay, that's P for place. The second P is going to be for purpose. The purpose is also called the use of funds. This is how they say it in the business world. They call it the sources and uses of fund. This is basically how you plan on spending this money. So they need a complete breakdown of all the different expenses of a beauty supply store. Most people don't know what that looks like, right? But you have to figure out what are all the things I'm going to need, and this is why I need this money for my beauty supply store. And why? You also have to explain why. Why do you need this a specific thing for your store? The third P is going to be your product mix. Now, we talked about the product mix and how important it is for you to have a clearly defined product mix. Okay, so you need to be able to show these lenders a high margin, fast moving product mix of all the different categories in your store. The fourth P is going to be your promotion. This is going to be your marketing, right? Your marketing strategy and your marketing plan. How do you plan on attracting customers and get them to actually keep coming back to your store and being loyal? In other words, I like to say you need to show this lender how you plan on stealing some people, how you plan on kidnapping some people, because everybody is shopping somewhere for their stuff. That's why I say you need to figure out how you're going to kidnap these folks, because trust and believe they're shopping somewhere. It's not like people don't really know where to shop. They're shopping somewhere, whether it's online or in store. They're shopping somewhere. And so you need to show in your marketing plan how you plan on getting their attention off of where they're currently shopping onto your store. And then the last P is going to be your projections. These are your financial projections that you're going to show the lender clear revenue of how much money the store is going to make. You're going to be showing them your monthly expenses, right? Breaking down your monthly overhead expenses. And you're going to be showing this over a 3-year period. Okay. That's typically what they want to see in a business plan. 3 years worth of financial projections. Okay. And so this is just a quick snapshot, guys, of what lenders will reject versus what gets approved. And this is just what we have seen. And again, we help Black women get 1.5 million in funding, right? And so we have worked with quite a few lenders and we know what they're looking for, right? And so what they're going to reject is in your business plan, just saying, I just love hair and beauty. Okay. You need to articulate and quote unquote, this store serves a high demand Black and brown consumer base with proven repeat purchases, right? They are going to reject vague location ideas. You need to show in your business plan specific plaza traffic counts, demographics, and nearby anchors. So nearby anchors means a large nearby a store, right? Retail store, whether that's a Walmart, Trader Joe's, Home Depot, that's a nearby anchor. Okay. I'm going to bring Keisha up because she has something exciting to share. Listen to this.
Ma'am. So last week I reported that I went underwriting, and today I actually got approved for my full amount for my loan.
Yay.
Thank you, Janice, actually, for saying, no, call him tomorrow. I got the official email announcement today that I got the full amount that I requested. And yes, right. So I'm excited. I'm nervous and everything all in between. I mean, it took me a year to get here. I'm here now. The money is available.
Well, that's so exciting. Let everyone know what the full amount is.
I got $150K.
Yes. See, it's possible, y'all. It's possible.
And in the words of Janice, everything's going to be moving fast right now.
Absolutely, y'all. That was Miss Keisha. She has her store in Houston, Texas, and literally got $150,000 in funding for her beauty supply store. So guys, it is possible. Okay. That's another sister of mine from the islands, came to this country, worked her corporate job, and got her beauty supply store open. So guys, I share all these stories because all of our stories are similar. If we can do it, you can do it, right? And it's all about just making it happen with the right information. So let's just do a quick check-in. Let's do a quick check-in. Let me know in the chat, how are we feeling at this point? Right? Let me know, was this helpful? Type in yes in the chat if this was helpful. Did I do my job, y'all? Did I do my job? Was this worth your evening here? Are you seeing how you can make multiple six figures into millions having a beauty supply store with the additional revenue streams and all the things that we talked about tonight and all the things that I broke down for you? Can you see how this is possible? And can you see the money that these agents and Arabs, and this is why they open all the stores in the Black neighborhoods, right? Now we uncover the numbers and you really see there's a lot of money to be made because us as Black women spend the most, okay? Last question, y'all. And this is for the select few. I told you there was a select few that this was for. And for the ones who are on that's like, I'm really ready to do this. I'm ready. If you are ready to open the store, you've heard enough, you've seen the numbers, you understand what you need to do. If you are ready to open your store, like this is for you, you are sold, you are moving forward, I want you to type in yes in the chat. If 2026 is your year to open a beauty supply store, I want you to type 2026 in the chat. If you're on here and you are ready to join the movement, y'all, of entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs taking over the beauty supply industry one store at a time, I want you to also write in, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go, sis. Let's go. Let's lock up. Let's lock in. Because here is your next step. If you said I'm ready, let's go. Let's lock in and let's get this done. Here's your next step. Your next step is to lock arms with me in my beauty supply 5-day challenge, y'all. Now, this is literally 5 days to get your start in beauty supply. This is our 5-day startup beauty supply challenge. This is for all of the people who at the beginning of their journey and saying it is time to lock in. Okay, because this is a 5-day challenge where we spend 5 whole days together, where I am going to teach you and coach you through building out your beauty supply store. Even if you don't have no money, even if you don't have any good credit savings, or even if you don't have any experience, you're not going to need any of that in this challenge because I'm going to teach you guys everything. Okay. So let's go over what the 5 days is going to look like. So every day we are going to get on the Zoom, right? So this is not open to the public. We ain't going to be on YouTube. We are going to get into our private room. We're going to have our behind closed doors chat, and I'm going to teach you guys a game. This is the same thing the Asians do. Okay. So day 1, we are going to be building your beauty supply store foundation. Okay. We are going to be talking about discovering your market opportunity, right? Building out that product mix. Like I said, we are going to be mapping out your startup costs so that you can create a vision with a realistic money-making roadmap. We are going to start to create your store identity, right? This is going to be the groundwork for your success. And we're going to set you up with a retail toolkit so that you can become your own retail genius and you understand the retail language, because that is the #1 language that you need to learn when you are opening your beauty supply store. You must master retailing 101. Okay, that's day 1. Now, day 2, we are going to craft your beauty supply brand, right? Because the #1 thing I hear is that there's a lot of beauty supply stores, and I feel like this industry is oversaturated, right? This is why it is very important for you to have a unique brand identity, right? So we are going to create your beauty supply brand identity using my custom brand clarity framework. This is going to identify who you're going to serve, what you're going to offer, why it matters, and where you stand out, right? This is how you're going to attract and retain loyal customers, is having a unique beauty brand. And when we talk about a unique beauty brand, right, we're just not talking about beauty supply store. We're talking about, like I said, that parent company that has all of the additional revenue streams underneath it, okay? Now, day 3, we're going to get into the various beauty supply business models that is going to make you the money, right? You're going to learn the 3 proven business models that generate 6 and 7 figures annually, right? You're going to get the blueprint on how each individual model actually works. Because understanding, guys, that retail is not a one size fits all. As you can see through all of our case studies, the stores that we open are very different, right? So you're going to identify which model fits your community best with your vision and your revenue goals, right? And we're going to create the strategy to position your store for multiple six figures day one. Okay, this is what we do on day 3 with our beauty supply business models. Okay, then day 4, we start to actually put all of this together so that you can create your business and create a legal structure for your store so that you are not operating the way that I used to operate when I first got open, because I had no idea the legal part of it, right? So day 4, I'm going to be giving you the step-by-step guidance on all of the legal essentials to get started and to have a fully compliant beauty supply store. So this is understanding all of the local, state, and federal requirements, all of the licenses and permits that you need to have to operate your store. And I'm going to walk you guys through what that looks like so that you can be able, after day 4, and everything we're going to be doing is live, y'all. So this is live teaching. Now I'm going to walk you through this stuff so that after day 4, you will have your business, your beauty supply business, literally legally set up so that you can say after day 4, I literally own a beauty supply business, right? And lastly, on day 5, I'm going to be helping you guys through the funding process, right? I'm going to share with you guys the way that we get funding, the specific lenders and banks that we have found a lot of success with, right? So we have our own list of lenders that we've been working with for the past almost 10 years that literally loaned 1.5 million to our clients. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys step by step how you're going to break out that business plan based on the 5 P's that I taught you guys tonight so that you can open your store using OPM, which is other people's money. Okay. That is a big part of making sure that you get to the finish line, is understanding how to build your funding roadmap. Okay, so this is what we're going to do on day 5. You're literally going to have the steps to get the funding for your beauty supply store. Okay, this is exactly what we did with Flawless Beauty Supply out in Dallas, Texas. So this is Terrell in the picture here with her business partner. And she came and joined the program. She said Janice was such a phenomenal help in getting this girl bar started. Her course had a lot of information that you cannot just get anywhere. And these ladies actually got $75,000 in funding in just a weekend. Like, came through in the program, got our business plan templates, right? Plug and play their information. Again, not building anything from scratch. And gave it to their lender, got approved on Monday. So literally, they got funding super fast for their store. So here is the breakdown of everything that you're getting with the 5-day challenge. All right, so general, guys, general admission, there's general and there's VIP. So general, you are getting 5 days worth of training, the replay access in case you miss a session, and also our daily challenge workbook. This is going to be the workbook that you're going to be filling out so that you can execute everything that I teach you in that 5 days. Now, the total value of this is well over $500, but today, y'all, the investment for general is $47. We also have a VIP. Now, I know there's a lot of VIP people in the room. And if you are like me, whenever I do a program, I always want to do platinum, VIP, gold, whatever the next level is. Now, what's great about the VIP is that you get an additional hour, which is I do the training for an hour. And then the second hour, the VIP people, we go in our private room where I do priority one-on-one coaching with you. And so this is where we go through the homework. I coach you guys on what you need to change in your stuff, what you need to change, amend, take out. I answer your questions live on our one-on-one call. And so you're getting that priority one-on-one coaching. Usually my coaching, guys, just for a 30-minute session is $495. But you're going to get that in the VIP room. So you're going to get everything in general, plus the one-on-one additional hour of coaching and personalized feedback, the challenge workbook, and you guys are going to get my additional beauty supply playbook, which is my success pack that has my entire beauty supply ebook that includes vendor lists. Okay. So that investment, y'all, for the VIP, that is $97, y'all. Okay. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat, guys. for our challenge so you can sign up. And y'all, if you are about it, go ahead and make sure that you sign up for VIP so I can be able to coach you directly in the VIP room. Okay. So everybody on here should be getting their challenge ticket tonight. If you made it this long, y'all, at the end, you should be getting your challenge ticket tonight. So this is Allure Beauty Supply out in Jacksonville, Florida. The link is in the chat, y'all, so that you can get your spots for the challenge. Now, Allure Beauty Supply is in Jacksonville, Florida. This was actually a lovely couple that I had the pleasure of working with. Married, lovely couple. And literally, this is us at the grand opening, smiling ear to ear, y'all. This is how you're going to be at your grand opening. And I'm going to have your picture on here next year when I'm doing this training for new people. I want your picture to be up on here where I'm like, look at my client, look at my mentee, and we at her ribbon cutting. I just love it, y'all. I love to be at these ribbon cuttings, y'all, because it is just so joyous. It is just like literally the best day of your life. And so we was able to help her get $75,000 also in funding for her store. And she writes here, Allure was our dream come true. We could have not done it well without Janice and her team. Y'all. So the reason why we have this 5-day challenge, right, is that we want to remove the confusion, the guessing, the delays, the bad vendor decisions, because we have all of these vendors, right? And we don't know which ones to use. And some of them are not the right vendors, right? Wrong location and disorganized funding plans, right? Because in this challenge, we are giving you the roadmap that has worked for many other women nationwide. So this is everything, once again, that you're getting with our VIP. So you're getting everything in general, plus the one-on-one coaching and personalized feedback, the challenge workbook, the replay access, and then your additional beauty supply playbook, which is your ultimate success pack. Now, this is New York Beauty Supply, and I shared a little bit about them in the beginning, but this is the first Black-owned beauty supply store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And in their grand opening, one of the best openings I ever attended, they were able to generate over $10,000 in sales in their grand opening weekend. Now, the two dudes on the end of this, they're the owners, right? The girls in the middle work for the store, but the two guys in the end, wonderful, wonderful gentlemen, literally came to me and was like, oh, we're two dudes. I don't know if we'll be able to do this because we're men. Like, do you think this will work? And I said, it is going to work, baby, because you are men. And when I tell you the community came out for their grand opening, they made well over $10,000 in 2 days. Who wants to make $10,000 in 2 days? Who wants to be able to say, I made over $10,000 in my grand opening weekend? Because, y'all, this is the moment. So we're wrapping up. And so basically, guys, we are on this movement to open 100 Black-owned beauty supply stores. And this is why we are doing the 5-day challenge, because we want to just get y'all started. Okay. We want to give you the roadmap, and we want people to just get started in a very affordable way so that you can have that momentum. Okay. So this challenge is to literally give you day-by-day instruction for 5 straight days so that you can get it done. And so what takes people sometimes 6 months to accomplish to a year, you're going to accomplish that within 5 days of doing this challenge. Okay. So if you are serious about opening a beauty supply store in 2026 and you want funding ready strategy, you value proximity, structure, and accountability, this program is the program that you want to be a part of. Okay. So this is the end of my presentation, y'all. And hopefully we have some people. And guys, if you are joining the challenge, please go ahead and let me know. First of all, let me know if that link is working for you guys. I just want to make sure that the link works for you guys. I'm going to drop it again in case it did not work. I'm going to drop this link again. Can y'all let me know if that link is working for you guys? And when you get onto that link, guys, make sure you get your spot, because we have limited spots in our challenge, y'all. And so make sure you get your spot. And like I said, if you want that additional coaching one-on-one from me, you just don't want to show up to the trainings and you want to be able to ask questions and get coaching and feedback, you want to do the VIP. You want to upgrade. Don't play yourself now. You want to upgrade and do the VIP. And make sure that you get your VIP, because VIP is limited, y'all. Because I can't coach everybody. So if you know you want to do this, lock in tonight, y'all, with your tickets. Now, I want to go ahead and answer any questions that you guys may have. I'm going to switch over here, and I have a few minutes to answer any questions that you may have about joining the challenge and locking in your spot tonight, y'all. If you have any questions about anything, basically, I'll stay on for 2 more seconds. Just go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. You guys are also going to be getting the replay. So for everyone who stayed around, I'm going to also send you the replay so that you can also rewatch this information. But spots is limited for our challenge, y'all. So if this is something that you want to do, I would definitely go and sign up for the challenge. There are also Klarna and Afterpay on there. I just dropped the link again. So if you're saying you don't have that 97 right now, there is Klarna and Afterpay on there. So there are definitely funding options on the links. So you have to click the link, click hold my spot, click on the VIP for sure, and then do Klarna or Afterpay so that you can just get in and lock in your space before it gets sold out. Okay. And if you have joined, y'all, don't just join and leave the chat. Come back and let me know that you've joined so that we can welcome you into the challenge. Whoop, whoop. So I can give you a little shout out. And also let us know, drop your city in the chat of where you are planning to open your beauty supply store as well. Okay, girl. I love it here. TNT Glams, can I still use this link tomorrow? Yes. This link is going to be active as long as we have spots. So if there's still spots tomorrow, yes. But if there isn't any spots, like if it sells out tonight, which most likely it might, that means it's just like if the link doesn't work, that means we probably don't have any more spots left. But as long as there's spots available, y'all can use the link for sure. So I would definitely suggest on that note, make sure you guys copy and paste the link into your notes section of your computer or phone, whatever device you're on right now, because as soon as I log off from here, the link is going to disappear. So just make sure you guys copy and paste it. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it for you guys one more time. But y'all, this challenge is as cheap as it could be. And we made it so cheap so that everyone can just get in and get the information. Because we don't want any barriers. We don't want people saying, I can't. Like, we want everybody to get in this challenge and to get this information so you guys can get your stores open. Okay. And this is exactly why I decided to do a challenge, because usually we just work one-on-one with our clients. And we have a whole team that builds these stores all over the country. And that offer starts at $30,000. But we are doing this 5-day challenge, like literally taking out 5 days to just teach you guys what to do and coach you guys and walk you guys through the process so that you can get your jump start. And so y'all, general is $47. VIP is $97. That's it. And you'll get locked in and you'll get 5 days of the full training and full Q&A. All right. So any more questions, y'all, before I log out? There's a little bit delay on here, so I'm going to stick around for a couple of more seconds. But we are over time. Any other questions? And if you guys come up with anything later, you can always reach out to me. My Instagram is The Retail Genius on Instagram and TikTok. So you can message me, use Instagram. You can message me on there, say, hey, I was on the training and I have a question. And I'll be sure to answer your question. Also, my email, y'all, is Janice@theretailgenius.com. All right. So I don't see anything else in the chat. So I am going to sign off here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. The dates are March 23rd. We start March 23rd to the 28th. We are doing March 23rd to the 28th. And we're going to have classes in the evenings, y'all. We're going to have classes in the evenings. Well, it depends on if you have the VIP, because VIP, you have 2 different sessions. If you do the VIP, we have 2 different sessions. So we'll be meeting twice in one day. And they're going to be 7 p.m., y'all, for our general training. Again, that's going to be March 23rd is the dates. We start March 23rd. All right, guys. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to sign off here. Thank you guys so much for joining the training, and I will see you guys inside the challenge. Have a good night.